Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a new phone, so I don't know how this is going to work. We're going to find out. We are going to go over what I'm looking for in my dairy herd and why I'm looking for it. What I have, what I want to inquire or build on, and go from there. But first, as you can hear, gotta feed these guys. Let's go. Alright, now that it's a little quieter, we'll kind of go over what I'm looking at here. So this is Martina. I don't have any does and milk because I'm drying Reba off right now because she's pregnant. So Martina here will be 2 in, I want to say March. Let's see if I can get a good setup here. Now she's, stop it sister, you're fine. Now right here, here to here, and here to here. She is really wide. Now she doesn't have an udder. Last year, I don't know if you guys remember or not, she ended up miscarrying her baby. So having it about a month early. And so I'm looking for width, which she has and a lot of my does have. I'm also, when they have an udder, looking for larger teats. So we'll see what she comes out like. She right now is small, but she again is a first freshener. Let's see here. I'm looking for a higher upper than their lower. See if I can get her to set up. She's eating, so she might not do it for me. Come on. There we go. So in my herd, this going downhill, I don't have as much as I would like. Now she's not in a show pose because she is eating. Normally you'll hold the head up higher. Her head would be up here and she'd have a downward slope. And that's also what I'm looking for. Colors are wonderful. Colorful goats are fantastic, but you never want to purchase a goat or anything based on color or eye color alone, because it's the structure. Is this goat dairy? Do they have high attachments on their udder? Do they come from good milking lines? So when I'm talking about high structure on her udder, is she attached? When her udder comes out, is she going to be attached all through here? Is her udder going to protrude out? I know, we're all up in your business. I'm sorry, sister. I know. Or is it loose and dangly and floppy around like that? Now, you can't know that on a kid. However, what you can do is see what their mom looks like. What's their mom look like? What's their dad's mom look like? What's the genetics behind it? You need to know all that information. And then you need to decide what do you want? Do you want the higher attachment, or would you like a fuller udder? Now, if you're going to go to shows, you want the solid. You want it attached. You want the line. You want it to be big, but you want it to be natural too. You don't want to have to do a 14-hour fill because that's not healthy on them. You want good feet. Now, she hasn't had her feet done for a while, and she is due, which she's going to get done this weekend, but you can see her feet, while they need to be done, are not in terrible shape. They clearly need to be done, and that's this weekend. But they're not breaking down. Does your goats, are they easily maintainable with their feet? The herd you come from, are they easily maintainable? Because that's something you need to think about too. Are they friendly? Friendly goats get a lot further than non-friendly goats. I have a couple that don't like human touch. She did great in show ring, but it makes it hard to work with, and I don't care for that personally. Are they parasite resistant? Now, as kids, you don't know, but is it family parasite resistant? Obviously, parasites come and go, and you always have to be on top of it, but a more resistant goat is easier to handle because you're not having to deworm them all the time. Like this girl. She's super friendly. She lets me handle her. She lets me touch her. She's the first one to get out of the gate. That's why she's up here. She's a lap goat. Do you want a super lap goat, or do you want one like Athena here, who likely will let me be with her babies and help her kid, but she doesn't want all the attention. She doesn't want fussed on, but she stays close if I come out. There's Doll, who is in between the two. She'll get the loves, but she's not going to climb up in my lap if there's grass or something going on. And then Reba, who clearly she'll let me milk her. She loves to let me milk her. But anything else? Nah. But you can see on her body structure, she is kind of downhill right now, but you want her withers to be higher than her rump. Now these girls are maturing. They're still very young. She's not 2. None of my girls are 2 yet. The closest one is Doll, and she will be 2 in January. And then this one in March, and Reba in April. Yeah, I think that's it. And then Charlie will be... No, she's not. She's April as well, I think. Maybe May. Charlie won't be 2 until March. Maybe February. I gotta look at my dates. And they mature. So you have to know what the lines have. I know what her mom looks like. I know her mom's attitude. They all went away. So if you don't know what the doe looks like, because they're young, you have to judge. Now see, her withers are higher than her rump when she's standing on flat ground. It's not very flat over there. And that's very important. The width is for me, the width is the most important thing. The width of their hind end. Now she's currently mad at me, but if I stand her correctly, she's quite wide. And the reason it's important to me is it makes it easier to have babies. A wider goat has less problems. Doll, she's over here somewhere. Right there. Who's by herself because she wants out. Doll is not as wide as I'd like her to be, so I'm going to be watching her. She kidded no problem the last time, but I'm going to be watching her. My other girls over here, I've gone for the width. It's very important to me. And then udder capacity. Now, something I will say I'm going to be adding is teat size. So teat size is super important for multiple reasons. You want them big enough that you can milk them out. You want them big enough so enough comes out at once, because if you can express more, you're going to empty it out and you're going to be able to clean it off and then put them back in a herd and reduce a lot of the touching and extra bacteria while you're milking for extended periods. I hand milk right now. I might switch depending on how many does I end up with in milk to a machine, but right now I hand milk. And this is just personal preference. You can go to the ADGA scorecard and have very similar things, and there's a reason they're on there. Hold on, and I'll kind of show you the scorecard and we'll go over it together. So this is right on the ADGA website, straight on adga.org, and it's for a dairy goat scorecard. It's a unified scorecard, what all judges should be looking at when they're looking at your goat in an ADGA show. So for, you have a senior doe, a junior doe, and a buck, and that's how many points in the general appearance category, and how it breaks down in each of those. Now senior does are a little less because they also have a mammary system area where the other junior and the bucks don't. So you're gonna, you can take a look and read through this. I won't read it top to bottom with you, but you want, the stature slightly taller at the withers and hips with a long bone pattern. Now, the doe we were looking at is a very long doe. She was being bunched up for me on the stand because she was eating, but she's a long doe, but you want the long bones throughout. At a show, you're going to be clean cut and balanced length, width, and depth. You want a broader muzzle with full nostrils. That doesn't mean full of snot. It means big nostrils. And appropriate size and color in the ear shape and nose to meet your particular breed standard. So I have Nigerian dwarfs, so I'm going to have erect ears. I'm going to have full ears. I'm not going to have La Mancha ears. The colors are going to vary for Nigerian dwarfs because there's a ton of options. My muzzle, their muzzle should be a little bit bigger, but not as big as a full breed goat. You want to have those alert eyes. You want a strong jawline. Your front end assembly, so where their breast is, so you want the point of shoulder, and the withers to be arched to the point of shoulder and the shoulder blade with a, slightly tightly smooth against the chest wall. And you want a deep and wide chest floor. You'll hear this a lot. You want wide. You want a big brisket, which is their chest. Or breast, like in a chicken. In the front area. But in their chest floor, you want it to be big. You want it to be strong. It holds their body upright. You want their back to be straight. You don't want it to be crooked. You want to have well-defined vertebrae. You want their rumps to be a little bit lower than their shoulders, but you want strong rumps because, again, width. It makes it a whole lot easier to birth babies. But if you go through here, you'll see stuff about the legs and the feet. Dairy character. Do they have a long, lean neck bending smoothly into the shoulders? Do they have a prominent wither? That's the high point at the back where their shoulders meet. Are their ribs flat and wide apart and long? Lower ribs should angle to the flank. You got flank, you got thighs, skin, the skin loose and pliable. If the skin's loose and pliable, you likely have a dairy goat. You have your body capacity. And then for the senior does, you have the mammary system. Do they have a strong medial suspensory? Are their foreudder, is it wide and full? This is a doe that's in milk, so these are qualities you should be looking for. Now, if you're buying kids and juniors, you need to look at the mom, the dam's dam and the sire's dam and just the line, and to see if it meets what you're looking for, because it's likely going to be passed down to the next generations. And then each section has 100. I know I rambled. I know I rambled. If you have questions, just leave them below. I'm happy to answer them, or I can go more in depth on the scorecard, or I can even print out a scorecard and go over one of my does. My does aren't anywhere close to perfect. I'm building a herd. So I took characteristics and I have a buck with those, and I have does with the others, and I'm going to put them together and hopefully get better juniors. And then I'm going to get a buck that complements those juniors, and so on and so forth. You have to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere, and that's where we're at. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Again, the biggest thing in my herd that I lack is teat size. All of ours are super tiny, and it's because they're all juniors. We don't, they grow, they get bigger. But even as first fresheners, they were tiny this year. So we'll see how the rest do. But that's something I'm looking to add. Got my name on a reservation list. We'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But that's hopefully something we'll add over the next couple of years. Until next time, may God bless you guys. Bye.